Hey, what's happening, people? Welcome back to Hi-Fi Rush. This is a special Ultimate Selects episode. I swallowed my gum, and I'm having some coughing fits. I read a news story before, I read a news story in the gaming space that made me laugh so hard I swallowed my gum. And I have a coughing fit right now. I'll talk about it in a second, but it made me laugh so much I literally swallowed my gum. Don't swallow your gum, kids. Oh my gosh. So I have to get this off my system real quick. Was there a Battlefront stream today? No, there was a Princess Peach marathon. It's the Kotaku thing, yeah. So, we've been saying for years in the gaming space that a lot of companies are going to start cutting down on a lot of these, like, weirdos that hate gaming. Hate gamers, hate gaming subculture, hate anime, just hate video games in general. They're in the wrong business. And the thing is, they've never been gamers. They always lie and they say this was their first game they ever played, but when you watch them play the game, they can't even play Super Mario. Or they can't play Legend of Zelda. They can't play Mario Kart. They can't do anything. They came into the gaming space because they wanted to interject activism into it. So what's happening now is there's an ultimatum where the owner of Kotaku, which, I mean, the writing's been on the wall for quite a while, they basically said, you have to write about video games, do reviews, and make guides, which I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Excuse me. Kotaku was formed as a company that their job was to highlight basically imported and international video games. In fact, I knew people in the 2000s that worked for Kotaku, and they wrote about Japanese video games. Games that, for the most part, didn't get imported to America. And as time went on, they would start to incorporate more Western games. But the site was founded, like, actually founded on the principles of video games. And it was only, like, the past probably 12 years or something that they, went off the rails and they became an activism, social issue website. Excuse me.
Deep breaths. Shy.
So anyway, I am a proponent, or I am a firm believer in gatekeeping. I believe that if you hate gaming so much, and you're not going to contribute to anything except create drama, and you're going to basically try to ruin what we love, which is gaming. Let's face it, all of us here are gamers. In one shape or form, we love video games, whether it's Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation, PC, portable games, mobile, doesn't matter. Everybody here can say their favorite genre, right? You like RPGs, you like racing games, you like fighting games. This is all rudimental stuff. It's very simple. Kotaku people hate video games. They talk about piracy, they talk about like companies that don't like adhere to the woke agenda. They do all this other random nonsense. They hardly ever talk about games. The only time they talk about games is stuff that's not in the games. They complain about social issues not being in the games. And they do a bunch of other weird stuff, and they've been doing it forever. So finally, their company is cracking down on them. Which, I mean, we've been waiting years for this because they have been bleeding money for a decade.
Are you panicking again?
How could I not? We're up against Kale.
But we took down everything they've thrown at us so far. And Roquefort was even a giant werewolf.
You're right. Like you said, I gotta be a bit more confident.
When you're worried about what's to come, do what I do. Just think in an hour, 2 hours, we'll be done. And we'll have won. See yourself at the finish line.
Wow, that's pretty insightful, Jai.
Yeah.
I'm breathing a little better now.
Wait, what?
So what I believe is if you are working in this game industry and you hate it, get out. Like, you don't belong here. There's no place for you here. If you love talking about that kind of stuff, go work for an actual news agency. You'll be a lot happier. You will never be happy in the game industry doing what you're doing, like with your toxic stuff, and you'll never change it. You're a fad. You're a fad that's dying out because gamers are sick of it. For the most part, gamers are apolitical, if people even understand what that is. It means when they play their video games, they just want to focus on their games. So places like Kotaku now are a dying breed because they actually don't do anything with international games anymore. And the sad thing is, do you know that there's a whole market for international video games? Like, there are so many games that Japan that Japan gets that we don't get. There are lots of things you could spotlight if another site like Kotaku was founded. There's a whole market for that because literally, like, Japan releases so many games and we just get a fraction of those imports. Did you know that? Most of those imports like go to Hong Kong and the Philippines and Korea and Taiwan. They don't come here. There's a whole vast market that you could actually today, create a website like that and you would profit off it eventually if you actually talked about the games that were coming out in those countries. But they don't want to do that stuff.
You doing okay?
How am I feeling? Okay.
You gonna be alright, Kale?
There's probably nothing I can say to change his mind. All I really want to know is where my mom is.
I thought she retired.
Technically, but ever since Kale took over the company, it's like she dropped off the map. I have a feeling he knows where she is.
Well, we'll get you some answers. Then make him pay.
Yeah, and I'm not saying you guys don't belong here. I'm talking about Kotaku. Like, everyone here, you can tell me your favorite game. You can tell me the genre that you love playing, whether you are a Nintendo fan or a Sega fan, it doesn't matter. Everybody has that one game that either you grew up playing, whether it's your first game or your second game, it doesn't matter. My first game was Legend of Zelda, and it made a huge impact on me, and I can remember exactly what happened, but I've played thousands of games since then. In fact, I've dedicated 20 years of my life to working in the gaming space. I was 10 years as a game journalist, and then I moonlighted as a YouTuber in between. So I have I almost have 20 years experience if you think about it. Well, I mean, actually no, because I started in 2004 as a writer, and then in 2014 I retired in the gaming journalist space because I didn't like where the industry was heading. And also, I wasn't really making very much money. My YouTube channels were picking up, and it's like, you know what? I'm jumping ship. Amber and I are going to go to Boston, and we're going to create our own gaming media company, make it legit. And we did. I got my actual press credentials as a legitimate reporting company or whatever you want to call it, press agency. And, I lived out my dream, basically. And then the whole YouTube thing took off, and, but even today, I would never go back to game journalism because it's unrecognizable. It's not the same.
Well, looks like we're at the end of our set. Anything you need to get off your chest?
Chai, looking at all we've been through, I'm sorry how rough things started between us.
Hey, we all got our problems. Can't say I made a good first impression either.
Guess we learned a lot from each other.
We kind of sanded down each other's sharp edges, I guess.
Uncharacteristically introspective, Chai. Maybe you have changed.
Could say the same for you. I'm looking forward to the day you do something heroically irresponsible.
May have to wait a bit longer for that.
Yeah, of course they do. But if you theoretically work for these companies and you hate us, which is you hate gamers, you hate gaming subculture, you hate memes, you hate RPGs, you hate racing games, you hate fighting games, you hate Animal Crossing, all these things. If you hate us so much, why are you working in the gaming space? There are several places you could go and be an activist. There are literally non-profit press organizations you could go and write for to your heart's content about everything from war, social issues, death, disease, whatever. Whatever makes you happy. You don't belong in gaming if you hate it. You aren't contributing to anything but hate. That's all you do. Why? Why waste your life as a fad that is going to pass away? Because gamers are sick of it. Gamergate 2 is here, and it is going to be more ferocious than Gamergate 1 was. And they started it because of all the harassment they've been doing to people. Sweet Baby started this war, and now it's going to boil over.
Let's get Kale's password and shut down Spectra.
Roquefort's private elevator will take us to Kale's office. Everyone get on.
I'll tell you guys a secret. Did you know that my first game journalist job, I had to take a quiz?
This is it, everyone.
I can't believe it.
Bet you didn't think we'd still be hanging out, Peppermint.
Nope. And I didn't think we'd be teaming up with Vandelay's own staff either.
This was definitely not in my weekly schedule.
Are we sure we're gonna be okay?
I have learned much from Mr. Chai, and you, sir, must chill out.
Chai?
Yeah?
Chai, I do trust you. You know that, right?
Couldn't have done it on my own.
Now arriving at Kale Vandelay's office.
Oh my gosh.
Get ready.
It's just you and us, Kale. And nothing's gonna come between us. Mom?
Peppermint?
You're here?
I never left. And that's as far as you'll come.
Mom, what are you doing? I tried to find you. Kale's here, and there's this...
Spectra. I know. I promise to help him, no matter who gets in the way.
Roxane. No, you'd never do something like this.
Unless she's being controlled by...
Spectra.
Kale's finest work, and able to seduce even the most stubborn of minds.
You used it on your own mother.
Well, how else could I have gotten this job? I wasn't Mommy's favorite.
Let her go.
I know you probably think Spectra is nefarious, but I disagree. It's simply nudging people into the Vandelay ecosystem.
Wait, this is all an overly complicated plan to sell more product?
Do you have any idea how difficult it is to make something people actually want to buy? It's ridiculously hard! Hey, a new whatever! Well, what color, what model, size, speed, do I need it? All that stress, gone. Because we'll subconsciously make that decision for you.
You're enslaving them.
I'm freeing them with the truth of having a better life.
This is so... corporate.
I know, right? But look at you, wanting a brand new Project Armstrong enhancement to become a... rock star. Ugh. You're nothing without my technology. You bought into it, and you'll help bring even more customers.
Project Armstrong was meant to help people. It was Mom's idea.
Well, Spectra is mine! And look who's in control now. Bam! Time for Spectra's wireless test run. Keep an eye on your buddy Chai here.
No! We're so close!
Stealing my technology and then calling yourself a rock star? For doing what, exactly?
I don't know what to do. Maybe Kale is right. I'm nothing without this arm.
Chai, don't let him get to you.
You led us here.
And it's because of who you are.
But I can't get us out of this.
It's not your fault, Mr. Chai. It's a harmonic force field.
A harmonic force field? You mean like Sound?
Yes, but destroying it requires a huge amount of energy.
If I can synchronize with the frequency, I have to at least try. It's not over yet. Stand back. Just remember, feel the beat.
Oh no. Not this stuff. I'm not very good at this.
No. I got
this. What? Wasn't that why? It's gonna be another phase to this.
You may not be slick, but you get it done.
You might not see it.
Oh, I can't hear the music.
Just have
Okay,
to
alright.
focus.
I need to turn it up. 1 second, people. Oh, the game's not gonna give me a chance. You might hear an echo.
Just have to focus. Just have to focus.
Wait, that didn't count?
Just have to focus.
I'm never good at rhythm games.
Just have to focus. Just have to focus.
Hmm. What?
Just have to focus.
I thought I did it. And once you get thrown off, then it's all over. Do you have to...
Just have to focus.
Decker, do you have to hold in the beat and then... Like, do you have to hold in A and then release A, or just hold in A the whole time? There's no second beat. Yeah, music games, I've never been good at music genre. Like, any type of rhythm game I suck at. It's always been like that. Press A and then release A on the beat, or just like... So you don't hold it in the whole time. Hold and release on the second one. All right, thank you, Huey. I'll give it a shot. All right, this might take a while. Also, too, remember when I see it say A and B and Y and X, I'm thinking in reverse because Nintendo player and Xbox is opposite. So, like, my mind is programmed for Nintendo controls. Xbox is goofy foot for me because I've never been a big Xbox person. I know this game is coming to PlayStation and other systems, but I mean, it came out on Xbox first, so. Yes, Huey got it. So hold and release on the second one. All right, give it a shot. Oh, come on. Don't be so picky. A first.
Just have
I did hit X.
focus.
I almost had it, and then it was like... I almost had it, and then in my head, it was like, you're not pressing the right A button because A button is something else on the Switch. Alright, turning it up more.
I like this new child. He's quite come around, hasn't he?
We're in this together.
Cool song, though. Ah, yeah, I'm reversed. Okay.
I won't give up.
Right. Ah, shoot! I messed up. I keep hitting, like, in my head I hear... Or, excuse me. It's so hard to reprogram your brain, even for a few seconds, when literally for 30 years you've been playing with the buttons the correct way, and then Xbox reverses them. It's annoying, because it's like, you know what they are, but then you input them, and it's like, you're inputting A, but in reality you're pressing B. It's just... irritating. There it is again.
I, for one, Mr. Chai, like your pants.
Good enough.
A and B and X and Y are reversed on Xbox. Yes, Jackson. Dang it. Ah!
No. I got this.
It's like playing Skate or Die on Goofy Foot. Ah!
No. I got this.
Right. I do trust you. You know that, right?
And I know it now.
Ah.
Just have to focus. Just have
Oh my god. This hurts my brain. Ah!
focus. Just have to
Ah.
focus.
But that's where A is. Oh, that's not where A is on this controller. Oh, God.
Just have to focus. Just have to focus.
A's backwards. X is to A, X, Y. Crap.
I don't need a guitar. I am a rock star.
I thought you said you didn't need a guitar.
Yeah, but this is much cooler. We can do this.
Finally, some peace and quiet. Someone get me a cortado.
Coffee machine's only putting out decaf, sir.
What? And now this?
Hey, Kale! We got beef!
Okay, screw this. Do what you need to do, just stop them.
Mission briefing. Team, split up and let's get this jackass.
Okay, so, all right, now, what was I talking about before? Oh yeah, so 20 years ago, when I got my first writing gig in the game industry, the editor there actually made me take a quiz. Now, the reason for the quiz was to see, one, if I was lying about being a gamer, because they actually wanted to hire somebody for the position that knew about video games, because, you know, gamers could sniff out a phony. Well, I mean, at least we used to be able to do that, right? Crap. So, I can't remember the specifics of the quiz, but the quiz had like 25 questions on it. Plus, at the end, the guy asked me, like, what my favorite genre was. And, well, I ended up talking to the dude on the phone for 20 minutes because I couldn't tell him what my favorite genre was because I played a plethora of games. I enjoyed RPGs, I liked racing games, I liked fighting games. You know, needless to say, the dude said I got the job, even though, I mean, the entry position wasn't very well paid. But, you know, they hired people based on qualifications.
I got you, Shy.
All right.
And I think nowadays, like, these companies should actually go back to doing that type of thing because that's what we did 20 years ago. Like, it was, you know, a lot of companies did that. There's also another reason why they do that. Like, for me in particular, like, you know, I was working with, like, a Nintendo team for the website that I worked for, but they weren't looking for somebody to work in the console field. So most of my questions that I answered on the quiz or whatever, like, apparently I answered more based on, you know, when they asked me a particular question or a quiz, I scored higher for, like, portable games, like Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color, things like that. And my first writing thing was actually part of the portable, like, team. Like, we covered Game Boy Advance and later DS games. It wasn't until my next job that I ended up working with PlayStation consoles, and that job, like, I almost didn't get the job because I didn't really have a lot of experience with PlayStation stuff. The second time, like, I applied for something or whatever, the editor actually gave me a shot because, lo and behold, we were both fans of the Bouncer. Now, how many of you guys remember the PS2 game The Bouncer? So, based on instinct, he was like, okay, you know, we're going to give you a shot with the PlayStation team, but I'm going to need you to cover games that are going to take you out of your comfort zone. He says, I know you're one of those religious types, but I really need you to cover, like, M-rated games. Which, you know, I didn't really play a lot of M-rated games. And, it was because of that guy, the reason why I played things like House of the Dead Overkill for Wii, and, Dante's Inferno. Oh my gosh, what was the name of that Sega game that was, like, really dark? Gosh. It was all black and white. It was, like, really murder-esque. It was super gory. It wasn't, No More Heroes. It was a Sega game. I had to do a full write-up of that game. I can't remember the name of it. Mad something. Mad World, that's it, yeah. So, I mean, the dude literally took me out of my comfort zone, but he wanted to give me the job because, like, he thought I was a good writer. You know, I did good things with the portable stuff. But I still only got the job because I was a gamer and I actually loved doing what I did. The reason why companies used to hire people based on their love for something is because you would actually have that come over into your writing, right? Be like, if you don't like something, people generally can tell that it's not going to be a good fit. Now, I'm not saying that even if you can't stand something, you can be critical about it in, you know, kind of an objective way or whatever. Like, not coming off, like, as a hater yourself. Like, bringing up good points and being, like, you know, critiquing it a little bit. But, like, for the most part, game companies wanted, or rather publications, they were hiring people not just based on merit, like on how much school you had or whatever, but they were also looking at talent, and they were also looking at, you know, if you actually had a love for what you were doing. Like, is this something that you're literally gonna be up all night doing? It's something that, you know, you're gonna be able to bring your expertise for whatever type of games that you enjoy, because that kind of passion will show up in your writing, right? That's what the game industry was for a long time, even before I came in. Like, if anything, they said my generation, like the people in their like early 20s, were kind of lazy compared to the writers of the 90s and stuff who were trying to make the jump from traditional media, which was magazines, like things like GamePro, Nintendo Power, and, you know, kind of migrate to websites. And some of those guys were still stuck working at Fortune and some other things. So, I mean, it was kind of like, I wouldn't say the Wild West, but it was a lot easier to get a job back in the game industry, like to work for publications, during the transition period of, like, traditional magazines dying out. And, you know, it wasn't long after I got hired that, of course, we lost Nintendo Power, disappeared. The company who owned Nintendo Power ended up closing it, which was, that was terrible for me because I was a Nintendo Power subscriber for 20 years. You know, it was because of Nintendo Power that I even became a game journalist, really. Nintendo Power, GamePro TV, like, those were my inspirations. You know, I grew up with that kind of stuff. It really spoke to me, you know? So to see Nintendo Power go under, and, you know, I know they did a kind of a grassroots continuation of that, sort of. Like, there were a couple websites that started off with former Nintendo Power people that ended up becoming their own unaffiliated Nintendo magazine site. I don't know if they're still around now or not. I think they are. I think they're called Nintendo Force Magazine, but I don't remember.
You're almost near the path to the Spectra building.
But because of a lot of these pros were tied up in traditional media, a lot of us, like, new people, when I mean new people, like people in early 20s, maybe early 30s, were able to kind of get a fresh start in the game industry. And then some of us stuck around after 2014, and some of us bailed because, you know, things were changing. And you could see the writing on the wall. And I think by 2018, 2017, things really started to get bad. But of course, I was full-time YouTube by that point. But I still had friends in the game industry because people that I worked with at Game Zone and 1UP and GameSpot and Got Game, you know, they would get jobs in other places. Like, there are people at IGN that used to work at GameSpot. There are people at IGN that used to work at 1UP. There are people at GameSpot that used to work for GameZone, for Got Game. You know, the game industry was such a small-knitted group that even if we didn't like each other, there was a saying that a lot of us used to have, that the industry is so small that you don't want to make enemies, because you're going to see these people all over the place, right? You're going to see them at other publications, like press events, things like PAX, things like E3, GDC. So you didn't want to go out of your way to make enemies of people, because it was a small, you know, it was a small group. Like, not every company had, like, hundreds of people under their employ like IGN. Most reporting companies, publications had maybe 10, 15 people on their employ. So you didn't want to have beef with people. And nowadays, you have people like Kotaku and all these other people, like, you know, shaming people and attacking gamers and stuff. That stuff didn't exist when I was press. Like, when I was a game journalist, it didn't exist. It was such a I wouldn't say a tight group, but there was like a mutual respect, you know? After Kale. Robot Death. 3642. Robot Death. Oh, G4, my gosh. I knew people at old G4, and I knew people at new G4. Ugh. I only talked to one or two guys that worked at new G4, and I just kind of asked them why. And they said they were getting paid a lot of money. They were probably making more money than the original G4 people. Like, when G4 was a thing in the 2000s, like, their people were making a lot of money. Like the new people. Especially like YouTubers and streamers. They were getting a fat payload. I don't know if people know that or not, but I mean, they were making bank. Whoops. Ow, ow. In fact, most of the people that worked for G4 were all people that, like, lived in California. So, I mean, they had that California mindset. No offense. How do I do my super move again? Oh, right. Super move is like this. We need Big Boy. Where's Big Boy? Big Boy, Big Boy. There he is. Oops. Nope, wrong person. Stop thinking Skate or Die. I don't even know if people remember Skate or Die. Did I get a shield? Finally. Nuts. Gotta do it again. Oh, people at New G4, they made a lot of money. You know how back in the day, like, YouTubers, like, certain companies would give you what was known as a bonus? Like, you would get, like, a holiday bonus, or, like, you would get, like, a sign-in bonus. You have to think that the people at G4, basically, they got a massive sign-in bonus to be there. Because, like, they were actually losing time and money working for G4, so G4 had to make it worth their while. So, basically, they're just writing, like, all this money out that they didn't even have. And eventually what happened with G4, not just the Frost thing, but they just kind of like imploded financially. They didn't have any more money. And the company that owned them, I forget who owned G4. I think it was Viacom, but I don't remember. The company that owned them just basically like was like, okay, we got to let people go because we can't afford what you're doing. And maybe they negotiated pay cuts and YouTubers didn't want to do that. But by then, I mean, there was literally nothing left you could do. Like, G4's reputation was over. I did see that they tried desperately to go back to the old, like, we'll say, man show mechanic for G4. I saw them do, like, Bring Back Bathing Suit or Twitch Girls or something like that the last 6 months that they were around. Trying to do the whole man show thing again. And they lost their audience, though. Like, their audience basically said, see you later. So them desperately trying to survive and incorporate that kind of stuff, it didn't even work for them. Because, I mean, the audience was just like, we know you hate us, so what's the point of us sticking around? You know, they tried to go back to the frat boy humor, basically, and it blew up in their faces. Which showed that they really didn't care about all the stuff that they were championing 6 months ago with Frost. They just wanted to, you know, survive, because a company does want to make money and they want to survive. That makes sense, right? But they probably should have, one, known their market, and two, known their audience, and then G4 might still be around. Look at Toonami. Toonami came back, right? What was it, 2012? They were gone for about 7 years or something like that, or they were gone for 5 or 6 years. I don't remember. They came back when I was still in Massachusetts, so I left Massachusetts in 2015, so I think they came back in either 2012 or 2013, 2014. And they did late night anime again. Why were they successful? They were successful because they knew their core audience, and they also knew what their audience liked, which was, you know, adult-oriented anime. Like, I wouldn't say R-rated, but more mature, you know, anime. And so they changed up the show a little bit, added, like, a little bit more uncensored content, like, you know, violent stuff, like Chainsaw Massacre, that kind of stuff. And Toonami, as far as I know, is still around now. I don't have cable. I cut the cord 10 years ago, so I don't have cable. I'm assuming Toonami is still around because I haven't read an article of them closing shop yet. I know Adult Swim Games is gone, but I'm pretty sure Toonami still exists. And the reason why they're still around is because they actually have an audience that likes the type of content that Toonami makes, right? To be in this business, you don't have to be, like, a business guru to understand what your people want. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, you guys like gaming content, right? You like live streams, you like shorts, you like uploads, you like anything that has to do with video games. Now, say Amber and I decided to become a house and lifestyle channel where all we did was we, you know, did do-it-yourself stuff, and we didn't do video games anymore. We just did, like, basically, like, HTC TV or HTV TV, whatever it's called. Like, the home and garden stuff. We would lose our audience. And, you know, if we sat there and we looked at ourselves kind of like, oh, we don't know what happened to our channel. Yes, we did. We were branded as a gaming channel, and then we abandoned gaming. Now, I'm not saying as a gaming channel you can't do vlogs and stuff sometimes. Of course you can. But I'm saying to completely rebrand your channel and forego all the people that supported you because they like the type of content you make, which is video games, that's a very stupid thing. So basically, that's what G4 did. New G4, they tried to cater to an audience that didn't like them, for one, would never like them, and then they took their existing audience and they spit on them. So, would you stick around for that type of abuse? Like, if a content creator did that to you? Like, just the entire time they made fun of everything that you stand for and everything you love? I don't think you would. I don't think most people would. So like I said, I'm not that smart. I'm just kind of like, I understand how this market works. If a billionaire invested a lot of money into me to make a successful, like, parody of Kotaku, I could do it in a year. Because I know what the people who are searching for Kotaku really want to see. I would hire people that speak Japanese or Korean in the Philippines, and we would focus on imported content. Because there is so much of that around. And every once in a while, yeah, we would do some popular Western games, you know, whatever. But our core demographic would be about video games. And I guarantee you by the end of the year, we'd be super successful. Even though the market is saturated with that type of content, we would still get a piece of that pie because we would know what our audience wants to see. So when Kotaku completely, you know, took a backseat to reality, they kind of doomed themselves. And the fact that people are throwing a tantrum now, with the company in the way that they are, like trying to, you know, draw their line in the sand saying, we're going to write about what we want and do what we want. The only thing they're going to succeed is getting themselves unemployed, because I don't think the the dude who owns them is very happy with not making money anymore.
Nowhere to run. Corsica!
And the thing that rules this industry is the almighty dollar. It's what you have to understand. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Oh, you want to get out of there?
Thanks, Macaron.
Yoink. Oops. No, I'm doing it right. Ah. Whoops. Basically, what's been happening in the game industry right now is kind of like I would say almost a decade fad. Just like, you know how in video games there's a genre where it's really popular for a decade and then it's replaced by something else? I'll give you an example. FPS games were really big from like 1995 until about 2005. And then FPS games kind of, I wouldn't say disappeared, but you had like your core company that really catered to FPS games. Your Medal of Honor, your Call of Duties, and that was about it. And your Halos. The entire market wasn't saturated with FPS games anymore. Like, not every company and their mom was making a FPS game. The games that replaced that, RPGs and fighting games, had to come back. And right now, the big thing, I think, in the game industry is kind of like dungeon crawlers, is the next big thing again, based on what happened with Baldur's Gate. So you're going to see a lot more companies trying to copy the whole... trying to do the whole dungeon crawler thing. In the early 90s, the big fad that was oversaturating the market from like 1991 all the way through like 1996 was fighting games. There were so many fighting games that released from every single company from 1991 all the way through 1990, at least 95, 96. Capcom had several fighting games. SNK had several. I think Sega had a fighting game. Nintendo didn't. Nintendo's the only one that didn't have like an actual in-house fighting game until 1999, which was Smash Brothers. And by then, the reason why Smash Brothers became so popular is because if you guys were alive during that time, fighting games was not prominent anymore. The reason why Smash Brothers dominated is not only did it change the fighting game genre, but it also had hardly any competition.
Give me a second.
It's true. Like, fighting games got a resurgence later on, but it wasn't for, like, at least another 5 or 6 years before we had a lot of different fighting games again. Because everything goes in a cycle. It's just how the market is. So Kotaku now is part of a cycle of, like, basically failed media. For a while, like, rage baiting worked because they would get people to hate click them. But eventually, since everybody knows that they're never really going to talk about games and they're just going to talk about piracy, you know, I don't think that company can be saved. Like, the only way that they can save it is they're going to have to fire everybody and they're going to have to completely rebrand the company. Like, the owner's going to have to basically, like, clean house and, you know, he's going to have to do something else because the name Kotaku is so stained that no one cares about it anymore. They're irrelevant. Right? So, either you would have to make a whole new startup company or you have to do a brand change because Kotaku is synonymous with basically SJW nonsense. That's all they do. Majority of their articles all focus on that type of mindset. Whenever they write video game stuff, it's video game stuff about how much they hate gaming or how much they don't like, especially Japanese game developers, when their name is Kotaku. You understand how crazy that is? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Alright, I'm starting to remember how to play this a little bit more, but I don't know if it's really going to help me very much. Rhythm games have never been my forte. Which has always bothered me as a musician, because for the most part, rhythm games always seem like they're on the offbeat. And it's always been like that. I can go back and name examples on DS, 3DS, PlayStation, Xbox. Wii U had a lot of rhythm games like those Miku things. I couldn't play them. I was even bad at DDR. It's not in my wheelhouse of expertise. I like Hi-Fi Rush, though. I like how it changes the format, but I just can't get a grip on it.
You're gonna do something, Shy! Do it now!
Hold on.
Yep, the Battle Royale stuff is exploding because of Fortnite. Then you had Apex Legends. You had all kinds of stuff. Exactly. So, in the game industry, everything goes by a fad. There is a time and a place for everything. Fighting games, platform games, they all had their, big time in the sun in the game industry. And then, while those genres still exist, they're not quite as popular as they used to be, Like, there's always something that replaces it. Survival horror had a time. Even though survival horror wasn't that big, there was a time where every company made a survival horror game in the late 90s. Everybody wanted a Resident Evil. You had Silent Hill, you had Resident Evil, you had Alone in the Dark, you had Parasite Eve, It's like, in the game industry, we always, follow trends. And that's not a bad thing. And you never know what's going to replace it with,
That was awesome!
What do we do now?
Wait, where's Cinnamon?
I think this may do the job. Perhaps that arm can still be used.
Cinnamon, what are you doing?
I can finally be of assistance. I must seize this opportunity.
Playable. What's this guy's name again? I forgot this dude's name.
Oh my!
Oh,
this is
Cinnamon.
quite fun. I see why you enjoy this, Mr. Jai. I'm compatible. It's quite heavy, though. I could use a hand.
Cinnamon! Yes, yes, yes! Let's help him out.
We ready?
Oh my gosh, it's Power Rangers. Oh my gosh, it's Power Rangers! Awesome! Power Blaster! See, how could anybody hate gaming? Gaming is so fun. If you hate gaming, get out.
Cinnamon!
Moments like this are cool. Well, aside from the dying robot.
Was I dope, Mr. Chai?
That was very dope, Cinnamon. Man, he is messed up.
Nothing I can't fix.
Stop, Kale. I will be fine. I'm glad to finally be useful.
We'll take it from here, lad.
Guys, we gotta move.
This is it.
Let's close the set.
Yeah, gaming became the biggest, thing in the world because gamers were an underestimated group of people. Like, no one wanted us. So we created our own entertainment. No entertainment could satisfy our imaginations the way that gaming could. So 45 plus years ago or longer, you know, video games were created and a whole market was created by that product. And it spawned multiple companies, game developers, publishers, you know. What's going on in the industry, gamers will survive it. Whether there's like a shift backwards to how it was, you know, and we just kind of look back at this dark chapter of woke, you know, that was around for like almost 5-6 years. Everything has a fad in the game industry, you know. So I'm a firm believer, and the only part of me that is really optimistic about anything is I believe that this too shall pass. I think that we're going to go back to, you know, I wouldn't say necessarily what gaming was like in the early 2000s. That time is over. But I think that the stuff that Stellar Blade is doing, trying to go back to, you know, what gaming was like 10 years ago, I could see more of that happening and less of what has been happening with some of the other games. Like where they're purposely trying to make like ambiguous looking characters so they can relate to like 1% of the population. Like I don't see that sticking around. And based on what happened with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which I really don't think there was a problem with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. There are people that think there was issues with it. I think the storytelling is fine, and it still maintains what they were doing in Remake. But I think that people were worried that it was going to have like another Suicide Squad or another like Last of Us or something like that, and people were just kind of like, you know. But I really think that my game of the year is still Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I like it a lot. The story is fantastic. The characters are so well done. I love the game.
Nowhere to run, Kale.
Gotta admit, you work really well together.
You're not going through with this.
You know how you get to the top? Having vision. Something all of you lack.
Enough, Kale. You can't stop all of us.
Oh, really? You've had a few hits, but I think it's time we break up the band.
Damn it, Kale!
How about it, Chai? Come on my side. I can make you a real rock star. World famous.
You know what? I'm good.
You know what? Doesn't matter. We both know who's the target user of Spectra.
What is he, a vampire? Final boss! Oh, dang.
Another pawn. And this one should fare me better.
I'm proud to be a member of the Vandelay family.
So I would never say that.
Yeah, well, that's the point. I'm controlling him. What the?
Yes, 808!
Is this a joke? You think I can't deal with a cat?
Yes, we get to fight as the cat!
What do you think you can do?
Don't give up, 808!
Let's go 808! Do I think the comic industry can be saved? No.
808! You got this! Stay strong!
No, the comic industry is kind of like, it's way too late.
Stupid machine.
Like, they've already gotten rid of all the...
This'll stop you.
They've created too much of an echo chamber for themselves. The reason why video games haven't succumbed to that is because gamers can't be controlled. That's why people fear us. That's why they put us at, like, you know, a lot of weird stuff. Because gamers just want a game.
Damn it!
Get him, Chai!
Don't call it a comeback.
What a pain in the ass. You know what? Let's take this outside.
Ooh, cool final boss. Let's go! Yeah, I just... Gaming is completely different because you have to remember the mindset for gamers is different. Like, I'm being completely honest here, like, my coworkers, like 20 years ago, not even 20 years ago, like 10 years ago, my last year in the game industry, and even before then, none of us ever, even on an election year, talked about anything other than games. Like, we would communicate by email talking about, like, you know, we got an interview with so-and-so coming up for this, you know, we'll use Castlevania for an example. We did a whole retrospective on our website when the Lords of Shadow games came out. And the entire team worked on incorporating, you know, our memories of Castlevania games. Like, all the way from the NES, Symphony of the Night, etc., etc. You know, the team would coordinate, you know, based on whatever, and I believe that was a very big election year. No one ever talked about social issues, political stuff, nothing. Like, I don't even know who half my coworkers voted for. I don't care. I didn't tell them who I voted for either. It was a private thing. It's supposed to be private. You're not supposed to know who people vote for. That's weird. Right? And I will be honest with this, like, sometimes we would get into heated arguments, but it had nothing to do with politics. Gamers would clash over, you know, differences of consoles. Console wars was a thing. As well as, you know, sometimes our favorite games would cause, I wouldn't say fist fights, but things would get nasty, you know? Because gamers were very passionate people. Once. Does that make sense? Like, gaming would cause problems. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, even though we got along with other publications, there were times where, like, I wouldn't say, I don't think he remembers this, but Craig and I used to butt heads back in the day. Like, the Screw Attack people had difference of opinions about traditional media even back then. Like, they didn't really like game journalists. That's why they did their hard news section, is because they were kind of making fun of us. Because game journalists, traditional game journalists, we had to follow a certain, I wouldn't say mantra, but we had more restrictions than they did because they were basically a grassroots startup. So sometimes, like, you know, traditional media would butt heads with Screw Attack or game trailers or something like that.
Call it a comeback.
Pain in the ass. You know what?
But I doubt Craig remembers that. And he and I are basically the same age. Prefer the term game reviewer? Yeah. I was actually hired as a game reviewer once. When my YouTube videos started to take up, when GameZone contacted me, because GameZone reached out to me first, the company in Florida. I don't know if they're still around or not. I think they are. They saw my YouTube videos and they wanted me to come on as their video editor, but on my, whatever it is, my contract that I signed, or whatever it was, I don't remember, it said game reviewer. It didn't say journalist. When I worked for Got Game, it said reporter. When I worked for that one company that was a subsidiary of OneUp.com, which we folded like a house of cards when they went to IGN, by the way. That's why I don't like mergers. But it said journalist. So I've worn many different hats during my tenure as a game journalist. I was a reporter. I was a field reporter. I worked on radio. I worked as a video editor, putting together video reviews. I worked as a writer. I worked as a columnist. Did a lot of stuff.
Kale, you've gone too far. Listen up. Just give it up.
Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum.
Just give it up.
But yeah, I mean, gamers have always... That's, I think, the thing that a lot of these, like, people who get into gaming, they don't understand. It's not that we're toxic, it's that we're very passionate. So when it comes to certain things about gaming that we don't like, we talk about it. If there are games that we don't like, we talk about it. We don't just, like, let bygones be bygones. We have passionate things that we talk about. Nobody has the same favorite game. Like, it wouldn't be fun that way. What you would do is you would basically create your own safe space or echo chamber. And gaming is not a safe place. It's not supposed to be a safe space. It's supposed to be a place where people come together and they share different ideas to make something great, or to talk about something great. If everybody had the same opinion on everything, then we would get more games like The Last of Us, or we'd get more Suicide Squads. We don't want that. We don't want like-minded projects. We want, you know, games that challenge our imagination, challenge our skill, challenge our passions, create stories that will, you know, outlive us, or that we can pass on to our grandkids. We don't really have a Chrono Trigger experience to hand on to the new generation. You know, we're getting there, but there's so much more restrictions for people making art than there ever was, and that needs to stop. Because what's going to happen is, the only place that you'll have where gaming can be creative and artistic will be Japan. And that's if Japan can hold out against the cult of woke. You know, they're trying to, but, I mean, there's already companies that were kind of folding before this huge fiasco. Like, Gamergate 2 could actually save Japan. Like, it could open their eyes, like it's been doing for the Tekken director. Tekken director's on our side now because he realizes that you can't compromise with these people. He actually went out of his way in game development to change the base costumes, you know, for the trailers and all this other stuff to appease people who are into censorship, the Puritans. And what happened was, what happened? When they found out the original costumes were still playable, what did they do? Does anybody know? I can tell you what they did, but I just want to know if you guys know what they did. The answer is they complained, and they said Tekken was a misogynistic game. Even though the costumes were, you know, you had to unlock them and you had to play through it, they were still mad that those costumes were included in that game and in Street Fighter. You can never compromise with these people because you can't have an option to have an ugly face and an attractive face in your game, because if the option exists, they're still going to be mad at you. You have to make everything ugly. You have to make everything like completely bland. Is the only way to make that 1% happy. And that 1% needs to be basically cut out like a cancer because they don't belong here. You cannot compromise with them. They will not compromise with you. So we're done compromising now. And the Tekken director is just kind of like, screw him, because he's like, you know what? I tried to play ball with him, and I guarantee you, when Tekken 7 comes out, they're not going to have these very censored costumes in the beginning of the game anymore because there's no point to it. It just wastes time and energy. Because the original costumes is what's selling more anyway.
Let's take this outside.
Tekken 9. Sorry. Yeah, Tekken 9. Sorry. It's been a long day. Believe it or not, there's still people today that are making a big stink at Capcom for including, and this is what, Street Fighter 6 has been out for a year, right? There are still people writing articles about how mad they are that Cammy's traditional costume was included because they thought that they thought they won when Cammy had her costume changed and updated for Street Fighter 6. And then when they found out that her traditional costume was included in the game, but you had to unlock it, they went through the roof and they wrote so many articles against Capcom. And Capcom's like, wait a second, we gave you what you want, why aren't you happy? Because the answer is, Alex Trebek, they're never happy. So stop trying to appease them. You never will. They're psychos. Stellar Blade is proof of it. Like, you know, the upcoming Stellar Blade game is basically how gaming was 10 years ago. You know, there were a lot of games like Stellar Blade, Bikini Vampire Slayers, whatever it's called. There was a whole market for that type of game. Chainsaw Massacre or Chainsaw Lollipop, whatever it was. Those type of M-rated game experience existed. Not everybody played those, but they had their audience for it, right? Today, they don't really have their audience for that because Western game companies won't allow that kind of stuff to be made. Because the hacktivists that are in the industry don't care about that stuff, nor do they care about making money. They only care about getting their point across and changing people's minds. Which is why they don't belong in the gaming space. They don't belong here. Because they will never ever contribute to anything except misery. So that's why I'm saying we need to gatekeep. We need to kick these people out. Because they do not belong. It's like hiring somebody to write sports when they've never played sports in their life and they hate sports. Why would you do that? That'd be like giving me a job to work at CNN and I hate the guts of CNN. Why in the world would I work at CNN? I hate them. Right? It's like, what would be the point? That's why, you know, common sense thinking doesn't, and logic doesn't apply to these people because it really doesn't make any sense.
You lose here? We haven't even gotten to the good stuff yet.
It doesn't compute, you know? It's like, why? You're so hated by gamers and game culture, and you're not even going to make... They won't even make a footprint. They'll be... You know what this entire woke culture will be? When somebody looks back at this in gaming 50 years from now, it's going to be either a paragraph or it's going to be one page. 5 years will be one page. That's it. That's all they're going to amount to. So why? You're just going to be not even a footnote in history. It doesn't make any sense to me. And they're not going to pull gaming down now because Japan is aware of what's going on finally. See, Japan, they're very nice people. They like to try to work with Western companies, and they like to try to globalize as much as they can. But Tekken, Capcom, all these other people are having their eyes opened by how crazy these ideological weirdos are. So why bother? There's some people you can't compromise with, and there's some people you just can't work with that need to basically be expelled. They need to be removed. I'm sorry, but that's what reality is. If you hate us so much, you don't belong working with us. You don't belong making content that we're going to buy. Because what's going to happen is you're going to see a huge shift of people moving away from AAA games from America, and they're going to be buying AAA games from Korea, from Japan, from the Philippines. And this is going to be very good for Japan and, you know, their type of stuff. But it's really going to... Our industry is already hurting from all the stuff they've been doing. You know? And if they keep doing it, it's only going to make it worse. Because the last bastion of sanity is going to be Japan. But actually, I'm going to go a step further, and I think that if Stellar Blade is successful, you're going to see more Korean companies step up. Because they did exactly what I'm talking about. They had a bunch of very crazy ideology people that were in their company, and they fired them. They wanted to change aspects of Stellar Blade, and they wanted to censor it, and they tried to compromise with those people. And those two women said, no, we're not compromising, we're not doing this. And they said, okay, you're fired. And then they went and they made, like, did you guys see it was like last year? They went to Twitter and they tried to have their little sob story, how they got fired because of their ideology. And gamers said, of course you did, because you tried to change what the vision of that entire company was. And their game. And you were a problem, so you got fired. That kind of stuff needs to happen more because that's a win. So I really think that for the first time in a long time, if Stellar Blade is successful, because nobody knows what's going to happen. Everybody thought Final Fantasy was going to be a success, and it wasn't. And Final Fantasy is a very well-made game. So let's say Stellar Blade, you know, is successful, then you're going to see more Korean companies forge. Like, they'll be, like, literally made overnight, and they'll all make their own weird sci-fi Stellar Blade clone. You watch. If the game fails, then, you know, then it's back to the drawing board, basically. But if it succeeds, you're going to see more of that stuff. Which, again, this is nothing new. Like I said, those type of game experiences existed for a long time. we're just kind of like going backwards instead of forward. We're not really doing much because what's happening right now is the stuff that's happening is not even all that interesting. You know what I mean? It's like they're trying so hard to change narratives and to push censorship and all this other stuff. It almost reminds me of, like, back in the 90s, there was, like, a whole group of, like, church ladies that were trying to censor video games, like Mortal Kombat and all this other stuff. They were unsuccessful, but they were annoying. Whoops.
Look at you. You think you're any match for
I'm trying to.
Just watch this.
I don't know what to do for that one thing.
You should see what this body is capable of.
Oh, crap. Now he's Doc Ock.
Put your pathetic Armstrong tech to shame.
We'll see about that.
Oh, yes, we will.
Oh, crap. I can't do this. I'm in big trouble.
Try this out.
Kale, you've gone too far.
For future reference, when he has the weird wavy line, am I supposed to hold in the block button or am I supposed to hit a different block button? Let's see. I guess I could try to hit him with somebody harder. Well, that didn't do anything. See, the thing with gaming, it's all about trial and error.
Stay back, Ty. Let me handle that. Last down, Ty.
Okay.
I can break that lens for you, Chai. Now finish it. Show Kale who's in charge.
You got this, Mac.
I got, like, no hits on him. What? Oh, crap. I'm in trouble.
There we go. Switch it up.
Very cool music, though.
Try this out.
Go get him, Chai.
Come here!
Get him, Macaron.
Yeah, I'm dead. Okay.
Well, now that I'm done here,
Pretty sure you press dodge on the zigzag? That's what that is, Jackson? Okay. Yeah, because I have to go in there with more health than I already have. That's cool, Nintendo Sonic Gamer Gal. Yeah, the thing is, anybody from any walk of life can make a video game, but it's important that you love video games if you're going to make a game. Like, let's face it, most of the people we have in the game industry right now, like, they talk articles and they side with game journalists over gamers. Like, you know, that's the problem, is you cannot attack and villainize your consumer base because you're not going to have your consumer base stick around. The people that are treating gamers really nice right now are people over in Japan. Although technically people in Japan have always treated gamers with respect. The people in our own country despise us that are in the gaming industry. Whether they work for Bethesda or EA or what's the name of the company? Insomniac said something interesting recently. Rocksteady said some pretty damaging things about gamers. You know, when your own countries don't like you, and the only company that's showing you respect and actually, I wouldn't say loves you, but respects your business and wants to keep making a product that you are going to continue to buy and support, I mean, I can really see, just like when, I think it was PS2 came out, there was a bigger boon for Japanese games 20 years ago. I think we're going to see that again. There was a high rise for Western games, like in 2005, to kind of come up. And, you know, people went to, like, the Halos and less about the Metroids and other things. You know, the big Japanese mascot characters kind of took a back seat for a while. But, you know, they've always kind of gone back and forth. I think what we're seeing right now in the industry is you're going to see kind of like an elevation of more of, like, Japanese game studios and Japanese games as opposed to Western games, because gamers are seeing Western AAA games kind of like, well, they're doing this kind of stuff, and I really don't care for that. And also, they're saying this about me on social media, so I don't really like them. So a lot of gamers are now pushing towards, you know, Japanese games. And more that's going to happen. If Stellar Blade is the success that people are saying it's going to be, then, I mean, the industry is just basically going to implode in the West. Like, they're not going to understand it. Basically, everything they did for the past 6 years will be for nothing. Which would be hilarious, but... the old saying says, you reap what you sow.
You should see what this body is capable of.
Knock off.
Put your pathetic Armstrong tech to shame.
We'll see about that.
Oh yes, we will.
That was nice of them to give me a checkpoint.
Stay back, Ty. Let me handle that.
This song is going to get stuck in my head.
Let's get him, Ty.
Okay, I still can't hit him, though. No, I don't want to. You come over here. Okay, never mind.
Let me break those shields.
Still? Tricky Doc Ock. Bad brother. The question is she going to kill her own brother? That's what I want to know. Because, I mean, most of the people that Chai has beaten up, he's killed. Technically.
I can break that lens for you. Now finish it. Show Kale who's in charge.
Minor malfunction.
Yeah. So you're saying the zigzag pattern is supposed to be dodge, which is this button. Okie doke. Oops. I'm on fire, I'm on fire, I'm on fire! Oops.
You got this portal. Now see if you can destroy them.
It's a team effort. Da 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 da. Dun dun. Dodge, dodge. Dodge, dodge. Dun, dun, dun.
Try this out.
Give it up.
Here we go.
Here's the old one, too.
Peppermint, come on.
Stop it, Kale.
Try this out. Here we go.
Kale, you've gone too far.
You've gone too far, Kale. I'm not a big fan of Kale. Is it lettuce? Is it cabbage? What is it?
Peppermint, come on.
It's green. Now.
Get him after all.
Charge. Don't let it get you.
Whoa.
Switch it up. Peppermint, come on.
So we're going to be playing the long game with this guy. That was nice of them. Bethesda gave us a checkpoint.
Here we go.
Uh-oh.
Try this out. Back off.
Come on, big man.
Here we go.
Stop it, Kale.
Let him go. Oh, seriously?
Peppermint.
Kale, you've gone too far.
What's up, Doc Ock? Ooh, special's ready for next time, big man. Oh, I think he hit me. I think you hit me, didn't you? sucker. Oh, 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 fire, 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 fire bad, fire bad! Yeah, no, that's not gonna work. Hulk smash! Boom, 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 boom! Boom! Whoa! You like that? You feeling strong, Mr. Rock? Huh? You feeling that? You feeling it? Dun dun. Hey, how did you get so much health back, Lamo? I had you dead to rights, pal. You're healing, aren't you? Oh, crap. Ah, no more shield for this fool.
Just give it up. Of course it does. Now it's up to you. Peppermint, come on. Ty, we can do this.
Pound this sucker. Let's go, let's go. Woo! You like that? You feeling strong, my friend? Huh? Uh-oh. A little bit too much taunting. A little bit too much. Too much, too much. Crap, 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 crap! It's over! Oh, wait, never mind. Woo! Get up!
It's over, Kale.
On my side, you could have been something, Chai.
Oh, that can't be good.
Yeah. Too bad your little adventure ends here.
Are you kidding me? Giving this guy a third phase? Of course, why not? The question was that another checkpoint, or do I have to go through the whole song and dance again?
That's what you get for siding with.
Oh, wow, okay, yeah, there you go. No, I'm not changing the difficulty. Pipe down, game. Don't die. Oh, I died. We'll probably have to start over again. Well, I mean, to the last checkpoint. Let's see whether the game's going to be nice to us. But yeah, what people forget, though, and I like to remind people of this, is like, gamers were never satisfied with other forms of media, whether it be anime or comic books, cartoons. We would watch those kind of things, but the things that really defined us as people was video games. We like the stories, we like the gameplay, we like the challenge, we like getting angry, we like feeling joy. We do other things, like I'm a big fan of anime, but in my heart, I'm a gamer more than I am an anime fan. You know what I mean? It's like I relate more to video games. I crave experiences that I can only get from video games. Whether it's like, you know, spy adventures, fantasy, racing, fighting games. That basically satisfies my hunger. Anime is great, but only lasts for 30 minutes unless you binge something, you know? And you have to keep, like, for me, I watch so many different types of anime. Like, I have, like, probably multiple genres that I enjoy watching on a day-to-day basis. Where video games satisfy me more than other things, other forms of media. And there's a whole group of gamers around the world that think just like that. So when you would bring people into the gaming space that can't stand that aspect of games, and they don't bring that same type of passion, you're going to have a culture clash. Or you're going to have gamers basically be like, wait a second, the stuff that we avoid on a day-to-day basis, we don't want in our games. And that's why there's a pushback, is because gamers as a group you can't control. They're like a wild entity. They're like this massive force that if you push against them too far, eventually they're going to start pushing back because they want something in particular. With comic books has been like a genre that's existed for 80 years, and it's more seen as kind of like anybody can come into it. You know, anybody can pick up a comic book, anybody can do this. It's a very like open group, right? Gaming has always been like a niched thing. It's not as big and welcoming as people think it is. You know, it's your, I wouldn't say you're chosen, but it's a very kind of like gated community. You know what I mean? It's gotten bigger, but it's still like, it's a very different group than comic books and cartoon lovers and collectors of action figures and things like that. Gaming is a much bigger entity, and it's also a very complex group. You know what I mean?
It's over, Kale.
On my side, you could have been something, Chai. Too bad your little adventure ends here.
Wolf. Ow, ow, ow. How many of you, when you get set on fire in video games, and you're my age, do you remember what happened in the Ninja Turtles? Like, when I see a character get set on fire, I see the Ninja Turtles, like, charred up, and, like, they look at the screen like, why did you let me get hit? So every game, I think of, like, one or two things. Either the Ninja Turtles thing pops into my head from when I was a kid, or he's on fire from NBA Jam. Those are the only things that pop in my head when I'm on fire in a video game. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's just how my brain is programmed, I guess.
With you out of the way, now no one will stop.
Use parry? How do I parry again? Oh, you mean the B button?
It's over, Kale.
On my side, you could have been something, Chai.
B button, alright. He's Iron Man now. I mean, now he just did a pose of He-Man.
Too bad your little adventure ends here.
You little loser! Let's finish this!
Holy cow.
Dodge this!
Ow. Oof. Ah, but how do I, after I dodge, then I'm gonna have to get my butt out of there. Have I even hurt him? Not really.
Back off!
Oof. Ah, he set me on fire again. Always setting me on fire.
That's what you get for siding with losers.
But the thing is, like I said, with these people, with the game journalists that exist today, and them incorporating their beliefs into the writing and into the games they make, there's always going to be a clash with gaming, because gamers don't want certain things. They never have. And they're never going to allow it the way that comic books did. There's never going to be an acceptance period, because we have seen, which is different than comic books, because comic books, literally anybody can do comic books. What we've seen in the gaming world is that they're taking away things that we want to see in our games, and they're not allowing a choice. Like, right now, you know how there's like this big push for like ugly people and stuff like that? If there was an option like in Baldur's Gate where you can have attractive people and ugly people and make your character look however you want, you know, there wouldn't be an argument anymore, because the people that really enjoy that, the small 1% that enjoy, you know, ambiguous looking characters, they would be able to have their cake and eat it too. But the problem is they want everything to look and act like them and behave like them, and everything else gets thrown to the curb. That's not compromise. And you can't compromise with them. So we've tried, and now as a gaming tribe, we need to push back and be like, enough's enough. So that's why, even though Stellar Blade is a very mature game, I want it to succeed, because I want Korea to rub it in Western developers' faces. Like, I want them to rub their success and how well the game sells, like, to Rocksteady and all these other people that basically, they changed their philosophy in order to appease a very small group of people that didn't even buy their product. You know? That's where we are. So we need to go back to being a very close-knit, you know, happy circle again, and just kick out the people that don't belong.
It's over, Kale.
On my side, you could have been something, Chai.
I like Happy Circle. Happy Circle's fun.
Too bad your little adventure ends here.
That's because you're frickin' Iron Man with He-Man powers. Can I avoid those lasers? Yes, I can.
Not even you can stop this. Dodge this.
Wow, I can't dodge it. Alright.
Peppermint, come on.
Need help?
Dodge this.
Can't. So I have to block that.
Ty, we can do this.
Peppermint, come on.
Don't get him, guys.
See what I am capable of?
Yeah, but he takes damage now. So do I, though. And there it is. That fire thing really hurts. See how much of your health it drains?
Peppermint, your turn.
Stop it, Kale.
Peppermint,
Ty, we can do this.
Peppermint, come on.
Try this out.
Ah, your sister's shooting you.
Here we go.
Stop it, Kale.
There's got to be a way to avoid that.
With you out of the way, now no.
Because if you try to block it, you get set on fire. Like what? Maybe like grapple toward him? Yeah, I know, Jackson, but that philosophy of yours, they would see you as an enemy.
On my side, you could have been something.
That's a very cool philosophy, and I respect that. But the people that hate gamers, you would be considered toxic. Just for that belief.
Too bad your
I hate to tell you that, but it's true.
Ends here.
Peppermint.
Need help?
Because you can't please these people. You can't appease, you cannot please.
You've gone too far.
It's not a factor. You just gotta move on
What I am capable of?
and get them out. Okay, so I tried to grapple toward him, I still got set on fire.
See what I am capable of?
You're capable of being a cheat! Ow! Okay, so grapple doesn't work either.
Dodge this.
Surprisingly, I did dodge it while I was on fire. Oh, never mind.
Peppermint, come on.
Stop it, Kale.
Your turn, Peppermint.
Let's go.
So you're supposed to block it from the air? Ow.
Your turn.
Ty,
I'll get it. It'll take a while, but I'll get it.
Knowing little loser.
Peppermint.
light him up.
Calls me a loser, yet he's the one being cheap.
Help?
Ow.
Peppermint. Your turn.
Stop it, Kale.
Your turn, Peppermint.
Kale,
Dude.
you've gone too far.
That's what you get for siding with losers.
Cheap hit. Alright, so I'm guessing supposed to use block when the fiery death comes down at you. See, I would think avoid fiery death coming down on you. I wouldn't think standing in the, in the center there and trying to block it would be a smart thing. I'm just like, my mind is wired like, get out of there, like run away. But people are telling me you have to stay and block that. That's insane. I would think run, dodge, jump, get away from fiery coming down death. You can do either one. I've been trying to do either one. I've been trying to dodge it, and I still somehow get lit on fire. I'll try again. I'm going to keep going until I beat him.
It's over, Kale.
No, it's not, because he's going to be cheap and basically, by the power of Grayskull. We need more games with cool cartoon references and anime references. That was very common for like a long time in games.
Too bad your little adventure ends here.
That's because you're a cheap son of a gun.
Switch it up.
Stop it, Kale.
Peppermint.
Yeah.
Try this out.
Come on.
Let's finish this.
Peppermint. Your turn.
Kale, you've gone too far.
Going too far, Kale.
There we go.
Stop it, Kale.
Ha!
Peppermint.
Come.
Try this out.
Try this out.
Duh, 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 duh.
Switch it up.
Go get him, Chai.
Woo! I got your pattern now, sucker.
Try this out.
I'm gonna have your sister kill you. We're playing the long game. How do you like this? Huh?
Peppermint.
Kale, you've gone too far.
Peppermint. Your turn.
Chai, we can do this.
No, I'm gonna have you do this.
Switch it
Isn't
up.
it funny?
Give it up.
Dude, I'm having your sister, like, chip away at your health.
Too far.
You gotta admit, that's kind of funny.
Try this out.
Let's go.
Dun, dun, da, da, da. Shoot, 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 shoot.
Chai, we can do this.
Woo!
Kale.
You like that?
Not even you can.
Holy crap, how are you supposed to avoid that? Man, dude.
Stop it, Kale.
Hey, you shoot me with stuff all the time. I'm shooting you the same way. Isn't it funny?
Your turn, Peppermint.
Stop it, Kale.
Armstrong defect.
Defects.
Peppermint. Come on.
Come on.
Don't hate the game, hate the player.
Your turn, Peppermint.
Light him up.
You use cheap tactics, I use cheap tactics. How's that? You like that?
Need help?
You like that, Mr. Kale?
Peppermint.
You like it? You like it?
Just give it
Want
up.
some more?
Peppermint. Come on.
Stop it, Kale.
Whoa! I'm not gonna fight
We
you.
can do this.
Come on, bring your fiery death. Let's go.
Stop it, Kale.
Peppermint.
Chai, we can do this.
Oh, that looked like it hurt.
Peppermint. Your turn.
Stop it, Kale.
Come on, guy.
Here we go.
Go get him, Chai.
Where's all that smoke before? Huh?
Peppermint. Your turn.
Come on.
Dude, I'm just gonna have your sister kill you, man. Come on, do something.
Give it up.
Come on, nice and close.
Your turn, Peppermint.
Chai, we can do this.
I mean, you're doing this. I'm not doing anything. I'm just running around in circles, making him walk around getting shot. Oh, it's hilarious.
Switch it up.
Just give it up.
It's kind of anticlimactic, but I'm not getting close to Iron Man wannabe.
We can do this.
Light him up.
Kale, you've gone too far.
This is funny. If this is how he dies, this is funny.
Your turn, Peppermint.
But I have a feeling that he has another form after this.
Peppermint.
Just give it up.
Oh, this is funny.
Here we go.
Light him up.
Peppermint. Come on.
Oh, light him up. Bam.
Switch it up.
Chai, we can do this.
I think I might have glitched the game. Cool. I'm not going up to fight you.
Help?
Peppermint. Come on.
Just give it up.
Try this out.
Chai, we can do this.
Oh my gosh. This is how the game ends.
Give it up.
This is how it ends. Goodbye.
Your turn, Peppermint.
Kale,
Ooh, this is it.
Peppermint.
See ya.
just give it up.
Enough!
I would get annoyed too if that dude just kept spamming me. Ah, crap!
You are a defect who got lucky. I put in the hard work.
You think I'm winging this? Not anymore.
See? You can't match what I can.
Yeah, that's because I'm hitting the wrong dodge button. Ah, crap. Now I'm gonna have to do this all over again. Okay, one sec. Guys, what's the dodge button again? Glitch over. RB? Which one's RB again? RB, RT? LT? Little button or big button? Oh, I see it. RB, small button. Okay, so I was doing the top trigger. And RB is that one. Okay. We're going to call this cheesing. Little button. Okay. Cheese. Cheesing boss. This one was 146. Block. Blocking. Okay, so little button. RB. Small button. Okay, and then block is B. Alright, let's try this again. Dang it. And this is how I die, isn't it? Oh, crap. Still? Dun 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 dun. Man, why am I not dodging? I'm hitting RB. Do I need to move the joystick at all?
Macaron! You've ruined this company enough.
Oh no.
Come on, Corsica!
Can't believe I looked up to you! Cover me!
This isn't just about Bandolay. It's about fans.
And this is game over! Enough's enough. Give us the password.
Never. You're just a bunch of losers.
Maybe so. But together, we're unstoppable.
Chai!
Wrecked.
This is just too much work.
Dang.
Is that it?
I think so.
Oh, he dead.
It's over. This is just a bunch of scrap metal now.
I was worried there for a second. But I knew you could do it.
Look who's here.
I'll assume by the damage done that Mr. Chai was involved.
We'll get you fixed in no time, mate.
It's done.
You did it, Chai.
We did it.
I apologize for putting you through all this.
Nothing we couldn't handle, Miss Vandelay.
I won't make the same mistakes again. If possible, I'd like to make it up. It would be an honor to work for the company. The real Vandelay that I admired.
And we will welcome you with open arms. Oh, Macaron. After all these years, it's so good to see you at my side again.
I should have done something sooner. Things went right, Roxane.
You made it right. That's what matters. And our team needs you back leading development.
Got a new partner, too.
While it might not look it, I had quite a fun adventure coming to meet you.
I won't run away this time, Mom. I understand what you always wanted for me. And the company.
Peppermint, you need to do things your own way. Never change who you are. I think we have a lot of catching up to do.
I'd like that a lot.
Ah, Chai.
I'd love to help, but don't quite think I, fit a job description. So maybe I should see myself out.
Chai, I think you know yourself. That you are special. Making the most of what was handed to you and making a difference. I think that's the kind of attitude we need here right now. And Project Armstrong needs an ambassador. A leader, a real rock star. Are you interested?
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, another Let's Play is complete. The struggle was real, but it was worth it. And this game will be coming to PlayStation and I believe Nintendo Switch. Oops, I don't have a part 4. That's cute.
actually gonna learn how to play guitar?
Yeah, gotta practice. Need a backup job, just in case this doesn't work out.
That was actually really well done. Thank you, Decker and originally Adam Dean for sponsoring this. I don't know what Decker has in store for us next time, but I'm just making the Princess Peach thumbnail real quick. And, you know, I did enjoy this game. I'm not really good at rhythm and, you know, music type games, which has always bothered me because I am a musician. I play so many different types of percussion instruments. So it always kind of, you know, I always thought, hey, because I'm a musician, I can easily play music and rhythm games. I can't. I don't know what it is, but it just, there's this huge clash with it. But that doesn't mean I can't appreciate, you know, the genre and, you know, see creative aspects of that mechanic thrown into kind of like a action adventure slash like hack and slash game. And I think that this game is actually pretty good. And when it comes to other consoles soon, I think people are really going to like it. That's, you know, just my reasoning. I don't know if you could necessarily make a sequel to this because it's pretty cut and dry what happens, you know? Yeah, that came out really good, actually. Princess Peach Kung Fu. Very nice. So tomorrow, we're looking at 2 Princess Peach streams. Final Fantasy resumes, and there is an Ultimate again. The Ultimate won't be until 1 in the morning, though. So I have a feeling Final Fantasy is going to run very, very late. But I'm really, you know, I'm liking the simplicity of Princess Peach. Also the different, like, gameplay things it highlights. It has a lot of really cool ideas in it. But I feel like with Princess Peach, I think we're going to be done with it tomorrow. I don't see it being a very long game at all. Like, not at all. And I hate to say that, but that's just my feeling on it. So, at noon tomorrow, guys, you have another Spider-Man upload, because you guys got 1,000 views, so thank you very much. I'm going to record... I want to record 2 episodes, but I'm just going to record the 1. And then for the O1 channel, I got around to editing some of the Arkham Knight videos, because you guys know I'm very busy with the whole DDoS thing, working with authorities, and sending my data log to different people to go over to try to track these people and stuff like that. So, like, my nights are very packed, but I did get around to editing at least 2 episodes of Arkham Knight, so I'm going to upload 1 on Saturday, and I'm going to, if it does well, then I'll upload another one on Sunday. But in terms of topic videos, I don't know when I'm going to get around to topic videos. Once this whole DDoSing thing dies down, maybe. But also I have to start compiling my taxes, because I have basically, like, so many things happening right now. I've got the legal stuff, I've got the tax stuff I'm trying to do, and I'm also trying to, you know, make content upload-wise for you guys at the same time. And yesterday, I had a lot of stress, and I'm not going to say I almost had a heart attack, but it's not good for people's heartbeat to go 270. And it lasted, like, it was at 270 for, like, almost 6 minutes. So we were close to going to the ER, but I've been back down to a regular heartbeat of, like, 50 ever since. So, I mean, I'm not going to the ER. I got some really bad news in an email regarding, like, a friend of mine, as well as, like, how it relates to my company. So, it was kind of devastating. So I took that a lot harder. Plus, you know, with all the stress that I'm under as is, you know, it was too much to take, I guess, and I kind of had, like, a mini panic attack that led into some other stuff. But I'm okay. I'm just not Superman, you know, I guess. The problem is when you get older, your body doesn't, you know, body doesn't stay young. And the rest of you, while the spirit is willing, the flesh is weak, so to speak. So, you know, I'm probably going to have more scares like that as I get older. I don't know. But, you know, I got a handle on it. I try my best not to let stress bother me, but the problem is I have, like I said, I have like so many things pressing on me. I had the DDoS criminal stuff, you got the business side of things, you've got the company that you're working with to hand in the data logs, you got 2 YouTube channels you're trying to, you know, keep afloat, you've got 9 hours of live streaming, and then only about 4 or 5, 6 hours of sleep a day. It's, eventually you're gonna, you know. But I'm gonna get these sons of guns. I had some good news from the security company going over the data log. They have some good leads, so who knows what happens. We might be able to drag these people to court by the end of the year. Who knows? But the other stuff was just too much. Because even though I don't look it, I am human, so... while I can take a lot of punches, eventually the punches take me down. So, if I get punched from too many sides, I can't handle it. How about the TMNT collection online? Sure thing, Trayvon. You mean on the Switch? Haha. 5 hours of sleep? We do about 9 hours of live streams. We do 2.5 to almost 3 hours, then 2.5 hours, and then another 2.5, and then sometimes another 2.5. That's quite a bit. And then Amber does streams, and then I'm up all night anyway. Like usually editing and other stuff like that. Like I won't be going to bed today until probably 6 in the morning. Because I'm going to record, as soon as I get off this, I'm recording that Spider-Man video for tomorrow. And that'll be a 50-minute video, so. Yep, interestingly enough, adults only need about 5 to 6 hours of sleep. Yep. They tell us we need 8 hours. Because they were worried about people after 9/11, so they made this whole thing where doctors said it's good to get at least 8 hours of sleep. But in reality, like before that, most people were only getting about 5 or 6 hours of sleep before 9/11. That was normal. Eventually you do fall. Oh yeah, of course. Like, I mean, I scared Amber half to death last night. I scared myself too because it was like, I've got a machine that tells me how fast my heart beats. So, I mean, I knew when, like, basically I was having, like, hiccups from stress. It felt like hiccups. I was having like this weird tickling sensation in my throat and in my chest at the same time. It's the freakiest thing I've ever felt. And my heart was not going like ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. It was going like... It was like a drum rhythm. So, I mean, it was like, you know... It wasn't a steady heartbeat. And then eventually it went back down. My normal beat per minute is about 55 resting. When I stand up, it's around 70. So it was like, it was shooting. But the thing is, I didn't have a pain in my arm though. Like usually if you're having, like, we've had heart attack scares before since I was 30. And you get like a shooting pain in your arm or you have like really bad teeth pain or something. There was no pain. It was just like, I felt lightheaded and my chest was beating really, really fast. It almost felt like a panic attack, but it wasn't because a panic attack can't get your heart in the 270s. Maybe like 180, but it was 270. Like I said, I'm doing fine. It just, I had a scare. I had 2 scares. I had a friend who's very sick, who I've known for a long time. He's not going to make it. And I also got I got a letter from the IRS demanding more money for my taxes from last year. So it was like all the other stuff, my sick friend, the IRS attacking my business more. It was just like, it was like 2 double whammies, like basically being punched to the face of both sides, like BAM! And I was sitting down to dinner too, so I had a nice relaxing day yesterday, I believe. It wasn't too bad. And then it's just like, I had 2 things hit me at once. Oh, IRS is terrible. I think they're criminals. They're demanding like another, like almost $2,000 by like the end of March. So I'm like freaking out because we don't really have that. And it's like my what I gave them was a lot already, and they're demanding more. So basically, they're trying to audit me when like my tax representative or like the whatever their company is, like they told me everything was fine. Like because I gave out a huge amount. I gave out more than 24% of my income or something like that last year, or I forget. I gave them a lot. Like and then they're demanding more, and it's like holy crap. Plus, I have to start compiling stuff for April, and I'm gonna have to ask for an extension again. But I can't ask for an extension until I pay off the whatever late fee or whatever nonsense they're spouting. So I mean, you know, I couldn't. I usually have a very chill personality, but it's like, yeah, I probably almost had a heart attack from stress last night because it was too much. It's like my friend who's not even that much older than me is not going to make it, and then I'm being attacked by the government, which I can't stand, for more money that I don't have. And I have to find some way of basically scrounging up that $2,000 and getting it to them by the end of the month. And it's like, I've barely been able to pull together what I can. And it's like, I know the books are off for them. Like, I know that they're wrong and I'm right. But I can't fight these people because I've already been in trouble with the IRS for years. Because they, you know, they've been going after YouTubers for a long time. So, I'm just, you know, it was like, basically like I was Little Mac and Glass Joe got like 2 good hits on me. I wasn't expecting it because everything was going great. And then wham! Like pow pow! Back to back.
This is impossible. It's spectra signals. They're appearing all over the Vandalay campus.
But I thought we shut it down.
Could be some sort of backup plan?
It's Kale. Wouldn't put anything past that bugger.
If only we had someone up to the task of checking those hotspots out.
Who are you implying?
You, Mr. Chai. I was implying you.
You up for another round? See what's going on here?
Doesn't look like I have much of a choice.
All right. Okay. Oh, you messed up. It's Shredder's Revenge on PS4. You don't have a Switch, Trayvon? Well, yeah, but, I mean, the thing is, like, I worked out everything with my tax professional, and the IRS is demanding more, even though I already paid them what I owed them. Like, they're demanding more on top of that. So, that's scary. So then, what happens next year? I do the same thing, I pay what I normally pay, or I pay a little bit more. Are they going to hit me again with even more? Like, it's scary. Yeah, it's, I mean, you know, because I'm still paying back Amber's surgery from last year. We're going to be in debt for her surgery for years. Like, you know, her life-saving surgery was very expensive. So, I mean, I deal with a lot of stuff off camera. That I try not to. That's why when we were getting DDoS so heavily, I was getting mad, is because, like, I already deal with so much off camera as it is. So it's like, I don't really have a chill when that happened and I go ballistic because, you know, I don't, I'm kind of using all my chill to live stream and be whatever. And then on top of that, when people were interfering and preventing us from making money, it was too much. Like, I went nuke. I couldn't hold the dam back, so to speak. The water was rushing and I couldn't stop. Because I am a hothead, but I'm a reserved hothead. It takes a lot to make me go boom. But if I'm, like, basically being, like, attacked from all sides, then, you know, basically the dam's gonna burst. Because I hold a lot back every day. You know what I mean? The extra spectra levels reveal with the reveal of Kale. So you guys are saying there'll be one more stream of this, or we're done? Extra challenges. Are you a rhythm master? No, no, I am not. No, I am not. Arcade challenge is now available. Okay. Excuse me. Isaiah, you were Saturday, right? Back to the Future. Yeah, I'm gonna call it here, guys, because I have to go record Spider-Man. Alex, what day was your ultimate, buddy? I hope you don't mind, Decker. I've got some ultimates here. I just want to double check with people. Need to get a glass of water. I don't actually drink water. I don't. I don't drink water. Okay, is there any ultimate in the chat that has Sunday? Can we give Alex Sunday night? Is there anybody who has Sunday? VIPs, let me know. Yeah, I don't. I'm a tea and I'm a juice drinker. I don't like water. I maybe when I'm older I'll like the taste of water. I've never liked water. I don't drink it. I don't drink bottled water. I don't drink tap water. I don't drink Brita water. I don't like water. I have a very good reason for it, but I don't think I'm ready to share that because it was traumatizing. But I think that there's a psychological reason why I don't like water. Gonna force me to drink a glass of water a day? Well, I almost drowned. So, like, I don't... Sometimes when I drink water at restaurants, I start to panic a little bit. Because it's like I can remember the sensation of all the water, you know? I mean, if I drowned in juice or something, I probably never drink juice. Like, I know that there's water in juice, but I don't taste the water. When I was learning to swim as a little kid, I almost drowned. Yeah, that would do it. Just like, I have a friend who literally will never eat Cheerios again because he choked on Cheerios. And, like, you know, he had a Cheerio stuck in his throat or something like that when he was 5 or something. So, I mean, I technically use water every day. I'm a tea drinker. You know, there's water in juice. There's water in some of the food that I eat. Fruit, fresh fruit, stuff like that. But I don't drink water by itself. I can't. I think that's why. But I have nothing against people that drink water. That's cool. H2O, you go for it. But I'm a juice and tea drinker. Yeah, water's in everything, but I don't think about it when I'm eating food. There's water in food too. But yeah, I mean, you know, I was like probably 7. I can't swim though. Like Amber can swim, I can't swim. I've lived near the ocean, I can't swim. But I'm a big tea drinker, yeah. Tea is good. Yep, I like tea. The only other scary water thing that's ever happened is I was at a retreat, and they were going whitewater rafting, but it wasn't whitewater rafting. It was tube rafting, or you basically were in Colorado, and it was already a couple years after like I had that pool accident at the public pool, and I was trying to impress this girl in middle school, and her name was Laura. And we were at Colorado, like, for, I don't remember why. It was, like, some type of, like, church-related thing. Like a church retreat. Church conference. And the kids, you know, because her dad was a minister and my dad was a minister, but he was a minister. We were, like, not in the same area of Massachusetts or something like that. Or, she was in Massachusetts, I was in New York. So we were at least, like, about 2.5 hours away, but we met at different conferences every year. There would be like a summer conference, and we'd go and meet them. And, you know, I had a thing for her, and she had a thing for me, kind of. She was kind of crazy, but anyway. I volunteered. There were two groups. One group was going to go rafting, and the other group was going to some concert. Now, Laura was going rafting, so I went rafting. Now, I had no expertise in anything, and I was basically bluffing everything, because you know what guys do. They try to bluff to the girls, right? Something happened where my tube got separated from the group, and I ended up going in a place that I shouldn't have, and I literally ended up holding on for dear life with all my strength to not get sucked down into the Colorado Rapids. So I'm on this little tube. Something happened where I was with Laura and another group, and we were tubing, and my tube ended up, like, the river split. So they went the safe way. I ended up being dragged the other way. So literally the only thing keeping me from the jaws of death and the rescue people is there was, like, this, either there was a tree branch or it was a log. I don't remember. I was freaking terrified. But I was holding on for dear life on some type of, like, tree-related item when people actually had to come and get me out of that situation, or I would have been sucked downstream and I wouldn't be here. So I've never gone any type of water rafting or any theme park attraction. I've never gone on a water ride since. Because I just, like, I guess it was very traumatizing. And the thing that made me madder is the girl Laura, like, she ended up, because she had such a fun time with that other guy, and, you know, I was literally screaming, which she had never seen me scream before, screaming for help. Like, that entire relationship that I'd been building up over years fell apart that day, and she ended up going out with a guitarist. And before, she told me she liked drummers. So that was, like, one of the worst days ever. Yeah. So, and that was a long time ago. So I would have been like 14 or something like that. I met Amber when I was 19. So, I had the curse for dating, junior high through high school. So it wasn't until college that I, you know, succeeded, obviously. But I still don't know how I succeeded. Amber has the patience of a saint. But anyway, story time's over. Thanks for watching, guys and gals. Have a wonderful night. I'm looking forward to playing more Princess Peach for you guys and uploading an amazing short that I just have to tell you about before I go. Tomorrow morning's short is absolutely hilarious. Link is afraid of cat slippers. I filmed it. These things look fake as all get out. They don't look real. He is terrified of them and runs away. And you've seen how big Link is. He is scared of these little slippers. So yeah, there's a Link short in the morning, and it's hilarious. So that little spoiler for you guys. Yeah, Princess Peach is a lot of fun. So anyway, that's it. That's all. You guys have a wonderful night. I'm gonna go record Spider-Man for you. Then I'm gonna eat dinner. Tonight's dinner is fish. Gonna watch some anime, upload or edit Spider-Man, and then I'm going to bed. And I'm gonna post a YouTube short for the morning. Link has never done you wrong. Link is hilarious. All right, guys. Take care. You guys are awesome. Thank you again to Decker, our VIP, for sponsoring this series. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys did too. And I'm going to make some tea too so I can stay awake. Where is that thingy? Decker, thank you very much for being a VIP, man. Really appreciate you. You were breathtaking. Alex, Sunday night is you. Trayvon, we'll figure something out. And I think somebody else is tomorrow. Isaiah is Saturday. Alex is Sunday. I don't know who's Friday. Somebody have to, like, let me know in the comments. If you're a VIP, holy cow. All my GIFs are fighting for one another now. Okay. If you're a VIP, in the comment section below, if you're an Ultimate, let me know if I missed your stream. I'm really, really trying hard. There's a lot of forces of nature after me right now, so it's like a lot of things competing for my attention and time. So I need you guys' help to remind me in a nice way. So later, people.